So listen, what is a buyer's options when you're financing a new home in a seller's market while competing against cash buyers? Listen, are you a buyer in this market struggling to get your offer accepted? Well, today I'm going to help you out. I'm going to share with you one strategy that you can implement in your offers that's going to make it stronger and more appealing to sellers in a seller's market, even when you're financing your purchase. And we're going to get started right now. Hello and welcome back to All Things Knoxville with me, Ben Barreto, your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. Before we jump into today's video, I want to remind you I make videos just like this every single week. They're all not like this, but most of them are like this. Some of them are like neighborhood tours, things like that. And if you like content like this, if you're interested in Knoxville, and if you just like to watch videos about other places, then please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, and then maybe even share the video. It helps me connect with people across this country, and I would love to be able to do that with your help. Lastly, it's a little bit of a tongue twister. Lastly, if you're thinking of moving to East Tennessee or somewhere in between, and you have questions and you need information and answers, or just need a great realtor, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, sign up on my website. Contact information is right here. I love helping people move to this area. I love helping people out in general, and I do it all the time. And I would love to make you part of that legacy too. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into today's video topic. So today I want to talk to you about the inspection stage of escrow and how you can be creative when you need to be and get your offer accepted in a seller's market. If you have been in the market actively looking for a home, or just following the market, you've probably seen that we are in an extreme seller's market. And what this means is more or less that sellers have more options and they have less reason to negotiate or to negotiate with buyers and meet you where you're at. In short, you have to do all the work to meet the sellers where they're at to get your offer accepted. So when you make an offer on a house, you have to make concessions as a buyer with your offer just to get it accepted, or even just to get it considered in the top 5 or top 3, because many houses are getting 20, 30 offers. One of the areas that you can be flexible in when financing is the inspection contingency period. Before I go any further, I want to say that as a realtor who represents buyers 50 to 75% of the time, I recommend that you always do an inspection. I don't care if a house is brand new. It is always in your best interest as the buyer to get an inspection done. And I will always tell my clients that. I also want to preface that using any of the strategies I share with you today will not guarantee that your offer gets accepted. There's no way you can control what other offers are presenting. You may be going way out of your comfort zone, yet that comfort zone is nothing for another buyer to toss aside just to get that same house. And if you're up against cash offers who have way more flexibility than someone financing ever could, you can't control that situation either. These strategies are here to help make your offer stronger, but there's no guarantee that you're going to win. But hopefully you'll learn something today. So with that said, what I want to tell you today is different strategies, or a different strategy or approaches that you can use when writing your offer to make it more appealing to sellers. So I kind of touched on this first method, which is basically to not do an inspection at all. Most purchase agreements have several options when it comes to the inspection contingency period. If you're not sure what inspection contingency period or what inspection is, I'm sure I made a video on that. Just go dig through my archive. I'm sure you'll find it. Now, one of those things that you can, again, change up is the inspection contingency. Obviously, this would probably be the seller's most desired outcome for an offer, because basically they don't have to worry about the condition of their home causing you to walk away. I'm sure it's like this in all states, but in Tennessee, the buyer during the inspection period, until the inspection contingency period closes, has the right to walk away from the offer without really giving a whole lot of reasons why. And this makes the sellers very nervous during this contingency window. And it's a stressful period for everybody. The buyer doesn't know what they're going to find out about the house. The seller doesn't know what the buyer's going to find out, and if it's going to be enough to cause the buyer to walk. And they took their house off the market for nothing. So when you forego inspections altogether, you take away this worry from the seller. But here's the thing, you also lose your rights under the inspection contingency to walk away. And it's one less opportunity for you as the buyer to get out from under a house that may not be right for you. In worst case scenario, you could be stuck with a house that has some major issues that you're financially obligated to pay for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Nobody wants to buy a lemon, and if you forego the inspection period, there's a really good chance that's exactly what will happen to you. Well, there's probably like a 50-50 chance. I mean, most houses are in good condition, but there's always issues with a house that you want to know about, even minor. Now, on the extreme end of that is to get an inspection and to maintain the ability to negotiate over that inspection repair. You basically have the right to do your due diligence on the home, and that includes inspections, walkthroughs, things like that. Now, a typical scenario for an inspection contingency is basically like this, something like this. You request in your offer 2 weeks to do your due diligence, get inspections, and access the home. And at the end of those 2 weeks, or before, you can turn in a repair request proposal asking to negotiate over repairs, over price, something. It's basically reopens negotiations on the house. And the minute you turn that in, the inspection contingency window closes. Now, in an even market, or in a market that's like between a seller's market and a buyer's market, that's a typical scenario. However, we are not in that kind of market, and it's been quite a few years, more than a few years since we had. The typical scenario today is that most sellers are going to have anywhere from 5 to 30 offers on a house in the first few days it's on the market. Now, I hate saying this out loud. I hate telling my clients this even more, let alone just saying it to you on the other side of this TV or computer screen. However, it's my duty as your realtor to give you the reality of the situation you're facing so that you can make your own decisions on how you want to tackle the house, the offer, the situation. Now, obviously, I'm going to always recommend that you get an inspection of the home that you're about to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on. So how do you go about making your offer more appealing while still getting a good idea and still being able to do your inspections and understand the condition of the home that's about to be your responsibility? Hey, listen, before I get into this last method of protecting your interest as the buyer, as well as making your offer more appealing to the seller, I wanted to point out last week's video. In this video, I give you a tour of West Town Mall and the neighborhoods around it. You can click right here to watch that video where I show you Knoxville's premier and really now only interior mall or indoor mall. It's located in West Knoxville. It's surrounded by great neighborhoods and great schools. And again, you can watch that by clicking here or follow the link in the description. Okay, so we're in a seller's market and they have almost all the power, but you really want to buy a new home and you're using financing, and there's certain things you cannot control in your offer when you're financing. Obviously, if you're a cash buyer, you have a lot more flexibility on how you structure your offer and how you get to escrow. There's no one else involved in purchasing the home. There's no bank, there's no lender, there's no government entity. So you can skip inspections, you don't have to get an appraisal, you can close weeks faster than a finance buyer. It's really hard to compete with an offer that's all cash because they are pretty much straightforward. Hey, here's cash. I want your house. Do you accept my offer? Good. Shake hands. You're done. It's almost that easy. However, most buyers don't have that kind of cash laying around. So if you're using any kind of financing, there are certain things that you cannot. You have to get an appraisal because the bank has to know what the house is worth, or they're not going to let you borrow that money. And you can only close as fast as the lender is able to get you through the financing process and underwriting, which typically takes at least 30 days, and nowadays usually more. But with that said, what you can do to your offer to still protect your interest as a buyer, still get a good idea of the condition of the home, and make it appealing to sellers is you can use a strategy that I call inspection for discovery only. Well, I just don't call it that. Everybody here calls it that. So what this is, the inspection for discovery only, is basically you as the buyer are requesting that you are able to get your inspection. You hold on to your ability to walk away from any issues that the house has that are too much for you to want to commit to. But what you're guaranteeing is that you're not going to negotiate over repairs. So let me say this again. Basically, you're going to make an offer. For example, say you want 10 days inspection period, but you want 0 days to negotiate repairs. because you're promising that you're only doing the inspection so you can understand the condition of the home. With that said, you're also stating that you have the right to walk away if there are any major issues with the house. Is this going to guarantee you that your offer is accepted? No, it's not. But is this more appealing than a typical inspection contingency period that is definitely going to end with negotiations? Of course it is. Anything you can do in this market to give peace of mind to a homeowner who's selling their house is going to make your offer better. Well, listen, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. And as always, if you need anything from me, give me a call. I look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, have a great day. Bye-bye. Man, I really do move my hands a lot when I talk. I don't do this in real life. It's just like in video. I don't know why. I guess I'm just self-conscious about standing like this and talk. Does this look weird if I talk this way? Hey, this is welcome to All Things Knoxville with me, Ben Barreto, your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. It feels weird. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.